for my next guest, I'm going to have to look down at my notes because it's quite complicated. Award-winning saxophonist, writer, arranger, record producer, successful engineer. No end to this man's talents. Let's welcome Derek Nash.
Hello, Lars. Good to be talking to you.
Good to speak to you too. I mean, for people who don't know you, they will have seen you so many times on the Jools Holland show, bumping away the saxophone in the band.
Yeah, well, that's become 16 years now with the Jools Holland Band. I've been a member, and it's been a really amazing journey. I just joined. I was asked to audition and just do 2 shows, and they asked me to do the summer tour, then the winter tour, and I haven't asked since then, and I'm still here 16 years later, so I presume been having fun. Got promoted to lead alto saxophone in the band about a year and a half ago when Lisa Graham retired from the band. So I've been at the helm of the sax section for all these years, and it's been an incredible opportunity to play with so many amazing musicians and personalities and singers. It's just been amazing.
I was about to say, every time we watch a programme, we've got the Christmas Hootenanny, the famous one, which we all see. But in between, when they do so many shows, I mean, you've just been behind everybody. Paul McCartney, Kylie Minogue, some metal bands as well, Smokey Robinson. It must have been, did you pinch yourself sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. You do pinch yourself. Funnily enough, some of the ones that actually mean the most to you are possibly not the highest profile stars, but things that are really important to you growing up. I remember my first ever cassette machine that my parents gave to me. One of the tracks I had was All the Young Dudes by Mott the Hoople. So that was an incredibly important piece of music to me as a 12-year-old. So when I got to perform it with the main man himself, doing All the Young Dudes, first Hootenanny ever was, and I did it, All the Young Dudes, and it was just a fantastic moment because it's a childhood dream. You hear these pop songs on the radio, and there I am pinching myself doing it with the real person, and it's such a fantastic experience. So just little things like that. But yeah, working with Paul McCartney, who was such a gentleman and said, "Do you mind if I count this in? Or could you play a bit louder and make it more exciting in the studio?" He was such a gentleman. Really lovely guy to work with. Gregory Porter, put the hairs up on the back of your neck. First time I ever worked with Gregory Porter. It was just like being in the Count Basie band with Joe Williams. So yes, so many great memories.
No, Paul, I want to count this one in. But I'm quite interested in the fact, how long do you get, say, okay, Thursday's coming, we've got this piece with a certain artist. Do you get pre-production stuff, or are you sent music? How long do you get to learn your part?
Oh, not long. Let's take an example as the Hootenanny TV show. We probably know about 2 weeks in advance who the guests are, but some of those can change because one year it was supposed to be Van Morrison, then he pulled out with only 3 days to go. So quite a few of the members of the brass section do arrangements for the big band, especially for the Hootenanny, because there's so many to be done. It's about 15 arrangements to be done. So I normally do a couple. Phil Veacock is one of the senior arrangers. He does 3 or 4, and then other great people in the band do some as well. So we'll do an arrangement. You literally just go home with the single, listen to it, take any guidance from the record company management. You produce a big band chart, but we all get together on the Monday, which is the first time we've all ever seen these charts. On the Tuesday, we go to the television studios and rehearse the first half with the artists and the cameras. On the Wednesday, we rehearse the second half with the artists and the camera and shoot it Wednesday night. So that is it. Monday morning is the first time you ever see all the music. Have any idea how it's going to be. It's a really tight turnaround. It's quite a challenge. It's very thrilling. And that's what gives the Hootenanny its edge, because the show you see on television, although it is pre-recorded, it's pre-recorded as a live show. So we start at 8 o'clock at the night and we finish at 10:30, one take of everything, in the order you see it. That's why it feels really rock and roll, that show, and it's great fun to do. Bit scary though.
Yeah, I bet. Red light syndrome. Keep you on your toes even though it's pre-recorded. So lead alto. What does lead alto? Is it like lead guitar in a band, or too au fait with the brass? What does lead alto do?
In a normal big band saxophone section, which is what Jules has, you have first alto, second alto, first tenor, second tenor, and baritone saxophone. So there's 5 saxophones, but the way the harmonies are normally written is the lead alto would be the highest note of the chord, second alto next, then the tenor, then the second tenor, and then the baritone at the bottom. So I'm the person playing that note there at the top, which means, in a way, I'm probably heard louder than anybody else. It means I dictate the phrasing, it means I dictate the volumes, it means I dictate an awful lot the breathing patterns. So it's almost I'm the shepherd for the rest of the saxophone team. So that's what lead alto requires you to do. You decide on the way that the saxophone team should work. And in theory, great saxophone sections should almost sound like one human being playing together, that happens to be able to play 5 notes at the same time. So that's the idea. It's hard work, but it's good fun.
That's brilliant, the shepherd. I like that. And we were talking earlier in the studio, going back to the old brass days where it's pat, 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 all in sections, like all the trombones of everything's together, very, very tight, almost like a voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I grew up, I mean, the whole reason I play saxophone is because of my father, Pat Nash, who worked for many years as the senior arranger with the BBC Northern Dance Orchestra, which is an amazing big band based up in Manchester. And when I grew up listening to big band music, and I used to go to recordings and rehearsals and listen to everybody. And it was standing next to Gary Cox, who was their lead tenor player at the time. And the Pink Panther film had just come out, and he was playing the Pink Panther. And to me, that was it. I was 13 years old. That was the most exciting thing I've ever heard, stood next to someone playing the Pink Panther theme. And that's all I ever wanted to do. But I'm so used to listening to that power of 4 or 5 great trumpets, 4 great trombones, proper 5-piece saxophone section being driven by a proper drummer and an ace rhythm section. I grew up loving that kind of music, so it's always been very spiritual to me, big band music. I love it.
Indeed. I'm enjoying this, Derek, because I haven't got to ask so many questions. You're wiping my questions away. So lockdown period, obviously, there's not a lot happening. We're seeing a lot of pre-recorded stuff. And you've got some of your own acoustic bands as well, I believe. There's one called the Acoustic Project.
I've always run several bands, and I've been a band leader as much as I am a saxophone player, but also a writer and an arranger, composer myself. So with a lot of the time that I've had, I've been writing as much as I can. The Acoustic Quartet, as you mentioned it, well, we released an album in 2019, which was called Down on Frenchman Street. And that's my regular lineup of Dave Newton on piano, Jeff Gascoigne on bass, Sebastian de Crom on drums, all amazing musicians, and we always guest with Martin Shaw on trumpet. So I've started writing the new music for that next album, which is a concept. It's called the Jazz Anecdotes album. And there's a great book by bass player Bill Crow, who used to play with Stan Getz, and he's collected all these jazz anecdotes from around the world. And some of them are just give you great examples or just great lines upon which you can hang tunes. The one I've already written, I'll tell you this. Miles Davis it was almost a reverse discrimination thing in the 50s. Miles Davis was using white musicians in his band, like Lee Konitz, and he was being given a hard time by other black musicians around him for doing it in the 50s. And Miles Davis said, "I don't care if the cat is green with red breath. If he plays the way I want him, I book him." And that was this great kind of reverse put down by Miles Davis. So I've written a whole tune called The Green Cat with Red Breath, all about 1950s Miles Davis style jazz. So that's a perfect example of what I've been up to. I've also written an entire album of rockabilly music for a library music company that I'm working with. I've started doing more arrangements for Sax Appeal, my 8-piece band, which has been running for 40 years. I've been recording for other people. There was a world saxophone video put together by sax.co.uk that I participated in, which is amazing because I found that I didn't know who I was going to be playing with. I just did my 16th bars and sent it to them, and I ended up playing next to, well, Tom Scott was up after me, who's the guy that played on one of Whitney Houston's massive hits and wrote Starsky and Hutch, and Gerald Albright was in there, and Mindy Bear, and some amazing British people were in there as well, like Simon Willis Croft, and it's really, really honourable and proud video to be part of.
Yeah, you mentioned Mindy Bear, saxophone player in the USA, Phil Veacock, who's also in the Jules Holland band with you, and Winston Rollins. It always tells me off. I play trumpet, Lars, trumpet. No, trombone. I always get it wrong. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Well, let's hope we can all get out and see you having some good fun out there doing some gigs.
Well, my trusty Fusion gig bag here is desperate to get back on the road. It's been with me for quite a few years now, and I have to say I do love it. I was a little bit worried about a case that wasn't a hard case when I first got it, but it's been really solid and rugged and never let me down. And I love the fact it's got so many other pockets because I now carry an iPad in there, I carry a Bluetooth foot switch, I carry extra reeds, I carry spare mouthpieces, I can get music in there. There's so much more that you can get in there. In fact, if I dig in there, I think you'll probably find the last 6 Jules Holland passes in there as well.
Well, as you can see, people say a gig bag is a gig bag, but I think when the proof's in the pudding when you see them.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a really useful tool, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Derek, thanks ever so much for interviewing. Speak to you soon.